Okay, welcome to class. We're going to start sitting back to back with our partners, and we're going to form a mudra together. So you're going to have your palms turned up alongside your hips, and one partner is just going to place their hands into the other partner's hands. So you create kind of like a little cup with your thumbs touching. Close your eyes and lift up through the crown of your head. And just begin to synchronize your breath together. So first noticing your own breath. And then starting to tune into, if it's possible, to detect your partner's breath. You might start to notice movement in their shoulder blades, their mid-back, their low back. And then considering the little shapes you've made in the hands, we can think of the hands kind of like a little cup. And without having to communicate what it is that you'd like to fill this cup with, this can be where we'll sort of set an intention. And it's an intention that's combined. So together and individually, what are you going to fill your cups up with? Maybe it's gratitude for the other person. Maybe it's just an intention to be as present as you can with them. Maybe the person that you're back to back with, you haven't really shared a practice close like this for some time or even ever. And so take a moment to just cherish this time that you'll practice together, work together. You'll slowly release the mudras and just bring your palms to your own knees. Drop your chin towards your chest, stretching out the back of the neck. Take an inhale here. And a long breath out. Release any tension or stress. Feel both supporting and supportive and supported by the resting that you're doing into your partner. It's kind of like an equal and opposite push there. With your next inhale, roll your right ear to your right shoulder. Pause there with the ear falling towards the shoulder. Both shoulders are relaxed down, so slide the shoulder blades down. Take a breath into the left side of your neck. And then we're going to roll our heads back until maybe you rest your head onto your partner's shoulder and you come ear to ear. And it's okay if you don't find your partner's shoulder, just different heights will affect this. If you're able to let your head rest, just kind of let your head go. And then rolling your right ear towards your right shoulder once again. And rolling your chin back to your chest. We'll do this on the other side. So roll left ear now towards left shoulder. Take a pause here. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Still lifting up the length of the spine, feeling that support behind you. And then to your best ability, kind of dropping your head back, seeing if you can bring your head to relax on their shoulder. Maybe you come ear to ear. Breathe in. And breathe out. And roll your head back to the left. Take your time, roll your chin back to your chest, and we'll do that one more time on each side. So just roll the head to the right and just move right on through, drop the head back. Roll your head down to the right, forward and around, and drop your head back. Roll your head back to center, and then just stack the bones in your neck as you bring your head back up to neutral. Good. From here, extend your arms out to the sides and crisscross at the wrists so that you're palm to palm, or if you aren't able to be palm to palm, in Annette, in my case, I have my hands more at her wrist, and that's fine. So you just want to extend out through the arms and then lower the fingertips to the floor. And together, take a nice breath in and out. Breathe all the way out. And with your inhale, working together, we're going to take the arms up overhead. Use each other here. So you are kind of pushing into each other, finding that slight resistance, and then creating that lift and length upwards through the crown of your head, zipping up through the belly. Now exhale and bring your arms wide and bring the hands back down. So this is just starting to warm up the chest and the shoulders. Go all the way until your fingertips touch the floor. And then breathing in, come all the way back up, lifting up, use each other, stretching out, go vertical, zip up the belly, and breathe out, releasing the hands back down. Again, lift up. And exhale, lower down. Now leave your right arm down, crossing at the wrist still. Just place the palm to the floor. Just let your hands come down. I'm sorry, I said right because it's my right, but it'll actually be your partner's left. So choose which way you're going. Some of this will require some communication on your end to figure out which way you're going. You're going to take the opposite arm up and over into a side bend. And then you might decide together to kind of crawl the hand on the ground out and just figure out between the two of you how far you go. Remember, you're going together, so feel into your partner, maybe turn the gaze up. Find that slight resistance, push into your partner's hand, and root down through the sits bones evenly. Breathe in, breathe out. Push off the hand on the floor to come all the way back up. Rejoin your palms and switch sides. Bring the hands down, flatten the palms. Take the opposite arm up and over, and if it's feeling good, you can walk that bottom hand out a little bit, and then push, push, push into each other a little. Create that resistance and that stretch. Try to really send the open side of your body, the rib cage there wide open. Expand into your side body. Open a little bit into the chest. You might even play around with giving your partner a little more, letting them lean into you, and vice versa. And then slowly make your way back up. Good, take an inhale here. And now we're gonna twist. So decide which way you're going. You'll rotate so that your backs are still touching. You'll grab your partner's knee, the one that's gonna be more obviously available to you. And you'll take your hand across. So bring your left arm to your right knee. Yep. So if you need a visual, just glance at the video. Annette has her right hand at my left knee, and I have my right hand at her left knee. Together, lift up, create that lift through the crown of your head, and then give a little pull on your knee, a little push on your knee, a little pull on their knee, and see if you can together rotate your spine around. Together, breathe in, and together, breathe out. And we'll come back through center. Find that the hands can meet back out to the sides, crossing the wrists. Take an inhale and twist the other way. And you can kind of put your partner's hand right onto your knee. Let them find the knee and then cross your hand to the opposite side. Press a little bit into each other to create that lift, that traction. Push on your knee, pull on their knee, and start to gaze over your shoulder. Maybe close your eyes, breathing in and breathing out. Good. Come back through center. And you can bring your arms out to the sides again. Take one more time, inhale, lifting up. Now this time, choose who's going first. I'm going to let Annette go first. Leaving her arms up, I'm going to take my hands to her forearms, somewhere I can lightly grip, not really pulling at the skin so it's not uncomfortable for her. If you're the one taking the wrists or the forearms, you might choose to walk your feet out just a little bit. And if you're the one that's going to be back bending, you might choose to straighten out your legs. So if, Annette, you have room to take your legs straight, you can, but you can also leave your legs as they are. Now I'm going to start to pull on Annette, and she's going to communicate. She's going to talk to me and say, that's too far, that feels good, that doesn't feel good. And as I lean forward, she might just scooch a little bit as she needs to. I'm just going to come into a nice fold. So I'm doing a cross-legged forward fold. This is helping me to get into my hips. So I'm getting a nice adjustment into the hips right now. And she's getting to enjoy a little back bend. How are you feeling, Annette?
Fine. Am I squashing you?
No, not at all. So if you wanted to give your partner a little pull, you could always help them bring their arms a little further. Is that stretching your chest more? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just a lot of communication with the partner yoga. That feels good, that doesn't, you're pulling too hard, not hard enough. So don't feel worried about speaking up. We'll take one more breath here. And then I'm going to do a lot more of the work than she is to bring her back up. So I'm going to push into my shins and help her to come up and just let her kind of return to neutral. We'll cross the wrists again, reach the arms overhead. I'll leave my arms up and we'll switch. She'll grab a hold of my wrists or forearms. I'm going to take my legs out straight for this. And she might scooch her shins a little bit further away so they're not super tight and close. And then she's going to just kind of lean forward and let me relax back onto her. And as I come back, I might feel that I can scooch a little bit. So I bend a knee and let myself move back into her again. You okay?
Yep, I'm good. Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Of course you are.
It feels like, sometimes it feels like you're hurting your partner. Like I feel like I'm squishing her. And like she must be very uncomfortable right now, but I know because I was just there that she's fine. And together, just take a nice full breath in and a long breath out. Good, and then the one that's folded here, you're going to do a little more work just by pushing down. And those of you that are returning up to sit from your back bend, you can always kind of help a little bit and just bring those arms back down. That felt good. All right, so we're going to move on from here. And we're going to come into tabletop pose, but facing away from each other. And I hadn't really anticipated the space here, so we're going to try it facing this way, but we might have to turn towards the camera and away from the camera. So at home, you guys can just cross your legs in, shift forward, and bring the soles of your feet together into tabletop. Good. Yeah, this might work. And then in tabletop pose, you're going to inhale and lift your chest for cow. And exhale, round your spine for cat. And just move at your own pace through a few rounds of cat-cow. Did a lot of work just now for the spine. We did side bends, twists, forward bends, and back bends. So hopefully you feel like things are moving pretty well. From here, make your way to down dog. You can have the heels touching. So you can have your own down dog shape happening. And do we need to turn, do you think? You okay? It's a short down dog. It's a short down dog. We won't be here for very long anyway. So just find a down dog for yourselves that feel good. And say hi to your neighbor, make funny faces. Lots of partner yoga is giggling and laughing and awkward and funny and different. So Don't worry, you're allowed to laugh in this type of practice. From your downward dog, let's step the feet just maybe 1 footstep away from each other. So there's a little bit of space. We can go closer if we need to. Come into a standing forward bend. This is one of those funny, awkward ones. So you're going to be butt to butt here. You're going to reach your hands back, feeling balanced in yourself. Grab a hold of wherever it feels comfortable. And then drop your head down and pull your partner in. You okay?
Mm-hmm. How about you?
Yep. And you can play around with giving your partner a little more or less. Just communicate. Take another breath. And then making sure that you both feel nice and sturdy on your feet. Release your grip, come to a halfway lift. So just lengthen your spine. Hands can come to the elbows, and you might have to sneak away from your partner a little bit so you don't bump into each other. Elbows to ceiling, come all the way up to stand. Good, so you'll come up to stand and turn to face your partner for the first time in the practice, face to face. And bring your palms together. Good, and we're going to be stepping into a warrior one with our right foot's moving back. So you're moving the right foot back and you're taking a warrior one. Yep, that's right. Good. Good. So finding your warrior one, a little bit of pressure into each other. You can lift through the crown of the head. You can look at each other. Sometimes gazing into each other's eyes is something, even as partners, we don't do that much. Or friends, just like, let me stare at you. So it's actually a pretty common yoga practice to do eye gazing. So just,
Good thing I can't see much.
Annette can't see, so I'm not too worried. All right, from here, we're going to try something a little different. You'll probably fall out of it the first few times. Get really grounded in your left foot. We're going to step in, bringing the right knee up to balance. You're going to take my right leg.
Okay.
And reach your right arm up. Dun, da, da, da.
Fight for it, fight for it.
We got this. And then try to step back.
Wait.
We did it. So I feel like we were kind of like diagonal. Maybe if I bring my left foot more in line with yours. So you might bring more of toe to toe on that left foot. I'm wondering if that will be easier. All right, now launch into that left foot. Bring your right knee in. Grab your partner's leg. Reach your right arm up. 3, 2. We got this. You can grab a hand.
That makes it easier.
Oh, yeah, it does make it easier. And 1. Palms together. Step back. Warrior one. Last time.
Okay.
You ready?
There you go.
All right, bring it in. Grab. We're holding shoulders, too.
That works.
Yeah. 3, 2, and 1. Step back. Woo! Together we are stronger. All right, from here, step back in. Switch sides. Find your warrior one. What we learned from doing this on the other side is that it works better when your toes are lined up on that right foot. 3 times on your own. So we're going to hold it for a 3 count before stepping back. So do this at home 3 times. Ready, set, go.
This might be harder on this side. Okay, wait.
This is my least balancing
Right.
leg. Woo! 3, 2, 1. Step back. I think we're doing pretty good. 2 more times. In. And step back. Last time.
Okay, we got it.
Yep. We're pros. I hope you guys are doing good at home. Step back. Woo! And then step in. We're stronger together. Okay, so now step your right foot back. Let's take, I'm sorry. One of you needs to step your right foot back. One of you needs to step your left foot
Which
back.
one are you taking?
I'll step my right foot, so you step your left foot. Open up for warrior two. Yeah, this is gonna be tricky. Okay, so warrior two facing each other. What we're gonna do first is a reverse warrior. So just drop your back hand, stretch away from each other for a moment. And then we're gonna take a side angle. You can either place your elbow on your thigh or your hand to the floor. So choose the one that works for you. It's okay if your neighbor's doing something, your partner's doing something else. Reach the top arm up and try to bring your hands towards each other. You can reach, actually bring your arm up, and then, yeah, we'll just find some connection there. Good, breathe here, 3. Push a little bit back, yeah, there you go. 2. Find some resistance where your arms are touching, so you can use that to spin open. And 1, come back up.
The short warrior two.
Yes, straighten out that front leg. This mat's slidey. Now reach forward and put your hand to your partner's shin. Triangle pose. You can touch heads or crowns. Find a way to fit. 3, 2, 1, come up. Now turn your inner foot to the long edge of the mat. What's wrong with this mat? Turn your outer foot out. Warrior two facing away from each other. Now we're going to do reverse warrior, and we're going to make a heart. So we're going to pretend, make a heart, and then find your fingertips down here. There we go. So we got this heart shape going on. And gaze up. So sweet. Take another breath. And come back up. Ooh, okay, step in. Let's try it on the other side. So stepping the opposite foot back. Remember, you're going to face the other side together in warrior two. So from warrior two, first reverse warrior. Side angle pose. Elbow to thigh or hand to the floor. Top arm reaches up. Press into each other. And use that resistance to twist your chest up. 3, 2, and 1. Come up, warrior two. Straighten the right leg. Bring your hand to their shin. And if you need to get closer, I think I should get closer. You can even bring your feet really close here. Reach your top arm up. 3.
Really long.
You do have long arms and long legs. 2, 1, come up. Now remember, you're going to warrior two facing away from each other. So turn your inner foot to the long edge of the mat. Turn your outer foot out. Bend your back leg or your outer leg so that as you go to reverse warrior, you can go for that heart-like shape. So sweet, nice stretch. Zip up the belly. Press out for the feet. 3, 2, and 1. Come back up. Whew. All right. From here, I'm going to have Annette step right here in a wide-legged stance and take a wide-legged forward fold. Actually, come up really quick so they can see better. Turn towards the door. Do the same thing with, yeah. So she's going to just find her own balance for a moment. And I'm going to stand maybe 4 feet-ish back of her. Turn my toes out and come into a squat. And I'm going to reach for her hand. She's going to reach towards me. And I'm just going to really communicating with her. Start to lean back a little bit. You feeling okay? Uh-huh. She's going to take her weight a little bit more into probably the front of her feet so that she counteracts the balance a little bit. And then at some point, if you wanted to, just kind of like drop your hips, drop your head. And the pull that I'm getting from Annette too is stretching out my upper back as well. And if you wanted to go further back, you could get more into this folding position, but just keep communicating so that if they end up toppling overhead, you can release their hands in time for them to do a sweet somersault. I got you.
Sliding all over.
You can keep a little micro bend at the knees if you need to. Take another breath. And then I'm going to make sure to give some of her weight back first before releasing her gently. And she's going to come back up. She'll heel toe in, and I can push into my legs and come to stand. And we will switch. So I'm going to come further out here. I'm going to come into my wide-legged forward fold. She's going to come into her squat, grabbing hold of my wrists and starting to drop her weight back, pulling me through into the standing forward fold. That feels really good. Yeah. Did it feel good to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you guys can just kind of relax and breathe for a few rounds of breath. And just remember to communicate if you need more. You can always tell your squatting partner to pull through more or less. Let's see what happens.
You could probably even go back more, huh?
Mm-hmm. And then we'll give some weight back, making sure that the folding partner can find their feet, come up, and stand. Nice job. All right, so next pose we're going to do, you consult my little notes here. We're going to switch into some nice floor postures. So Annette's going to take a child's pose towards the front of the room or front of the space so I can be behind her. And in child's pose, I'm going to take a downward dog. Actually, I should have had you go backwards. Right? You can reverse a little bit.
Go this way?
Facing the same way, but just move back. Yeah. So she's in child's pose. And I'm going to grab her hands and say, hold on to my very pokey ankles. And then once she has my ankles, she doesn't have too much traction yet in her shoulders. I'm just going to kind of like see if there's any room for me to reverse myself a little bit, even if it's just a couple inches, just so she's getting a really nice deep stretch through her spine. From there, I'm going to bring my fingertips down and just very gently make my way down until my hands are here at her low back. Thumbs towards each other, fingers spread wide. Are you okay there? Do you need me to walk my feet in at all? Okay. So from here, I'm taking kind of this like downward dog shape on her. And she's getting a nice adjustment in child's pose, as well as getting hopefully a nice stretch in her chest and arms. So we'll together take about 5 breaths. Good, and this part's optional. Your partner will stay there where she is holding your ankles. You might choose to come forward kind of like plank. Rest your hips down. Use their upper back and make, is that okay, Annette? And do what looks like a cobra or an upward dog on them. Lifting your heart up. And then pressing back into your child's pose. I'm sorry, your downward dogs again. And then to get out, just one hand at a time, slowly start to pad your way back up until you end up standing. And then Annette is going to roll all the way out to her belly. So she's just going to walk her hands out and land on her stomach. Good. So her legs are reaching back. She'll take her arms back alongside her body. And I'm just going to come behind her and grab a hold of her arms. Sometimes if you grab in a weird spot, it can feel uncomfortable. So make sure you just got a good grip on their forearms. And you'll just start to lean back and lift. Give a little bend to your knees. And make sure you're in your own yoga. So you're not going to hurt yourself as you lift. How are you feeling there, Annette? Good. In some cases, you can take a squat so that your sits bones end up lightly on the backs of their legs. Is that okay? Once you get your sits bones on the backs of their legs, they get this nice grounding through their low body that allows their upper body to lift more. Let's take 2 more breaths. Strong, active legs, reaching back through those toes. Breathe in. And slowly release. Don't just let them go. Just bring them nice and slowly back down. You'll release their arms down to the sides. Bring your hands to their low backs so that you're just standing over them. And just kind of give them a little back massage here. Walk your hands maybe halfway up and halfway down. Get creative. Give them some love. Another nice adjustment can be to stand with your heels on the soles of their foot. So you'll do one foot at a time. As you get your heels into the arches, begin to walk it out, back and forth.
That's super nice.
Isn't it?
Uh-huh.
And so easy. It's an effortless massage. And you can start to move your heels down into the ball mounds of their toes a little. Move into the outsides of their feet a little. So belly lying has kind of become one of those things that I'm not doing anymore, this stage of my pregnancy. So I'm just going to keep walking out on Annette's feet, and you're going to switch sides. So at home, go ahead and trade it out. So partner number 2 is going to come into child's pose. Maybe we should demonstrate it again with you doing it, Annette.
Okay.
Yeah, so Annette's going to push back into child's pose, and we're just going to do that sequence one more time with her remaining, although at home you would have switched by now. Have your partner grab a hold of your ankles. Take a couple little miniature steps back. Making sure they still have a good grip. You and your own body. You're going to come down, get support first by just having the hands on the upper back, and then start to walk the hands out towards the low back. You're going to push the hips down and back as you send your hips back and up. So you're getting like a down dog, and they're getting a nice adjustment in the child's pose. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if you're taking that up dog, shifting your weight forward, almost starting first in a plank, and then letting your hips drop towards them as you lift your chest up. And then rolling back over onto the soles of the feet, returning to that down dog shape. Take your time, walk your hands back little by little. When you feel nice and grounded, stand up. Partner on the floor is going to slide out to their bellies. And you'll stand behind them. Make sure your toes are pointed back. They're going to reach their arms back. You're going to come down and grab a hold. And they can grab too. So Annette's grabbing onto my form, so you have a nice good grip. Empty your breath out. And then inhale, start to lift your chest. So you can stay here. See how my back starts off really rounded? I'm going to pull my chest forward. So I'm more in like what looks kind of like a chair pose. So my back isn't compromised. From there, start to drop your hips down. Maybe rest your hips very lightly, not all of your weight, but some of it, into their legs. You okay?
Uh-huh.
Good. And partner, let's getting their chest lifted up is rooting through their legs, breathing deeply. Take 2 more breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. And then slowly together, releasing back down. And then partner on the floor, let their hands come to the sides. Take your hands to their low back and start to walk your hands up and down their back.
Good thing you're pregnant.
Yeah, you got double massage. Come up and stand. Those of you know you're staying there. And come down to the bottoms of their feet. I'm going to bring the heels of your feet right into the arches of theirs. And then just start light if it's too much, because there are some kind of tight spots in the bottom of the feet. Feel free to communicate. Great. So step off their feet, and then everyone will come up, and we'll come to sit facing each other with our legs wide. So we're going to move into Pavitra Konasana, and one of you might be able to take the legs wider, but you're going to go with we're going to go with the more narrow option here so that we can keep the feet together. So don't force your partner to go wider than they're comfortable with. Sit up and find your own spine, and if you happen to be someone with tight hamstrings, sitting up on a blanket or a block at home could be helpful. Do you want something? You're good. Reach forward and see if you can hold probably forearms, wrists-ish. Take an inhale, lift your chest, and then Annette's going to pull me forward as she leans back. So it's just like a gentle little lean back for her. She's just using her own body weight. And I'll come forward and just find an edge. Take a breath together. Breathe in and out. And then I'll lift my head up and start to lift myself as I lean back and just kind of listen to her and her breathing. And we'll do that one more time back and forth. So she'll start to lift and lean back, pulling me forward. And then I'll lift up and I'll start to pull her forward. And she'll lift up. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take right arm to right arm at the wrist or forearm. Take your left arm up, big breath in. We're going to lean towards our right leg and maybe even find the toes. So we have this good grip in between that's keeping us turning towards each other. The opposite arm finding maybe the foot. And if you don't find the foot, that's okay. Close your eyes, drop your head, relax your jaw, be where you are. Take a couple breaths here. This one's one of my favorite.
Yeah, this was nice.
To come up, you'll take your left arm, slowly start to lift it up. Take your time, cross your wrist the other way. And then take the opposite arm up. Start to lean and switch sides. Drop your head, relax your neck. And then lifting your top arm up. Bring yourselves all the way back up. Good. We're going to do one more. Bringing the soles of the feet together, legs out in front. We kind of have room for this. And then we'll find each other's fingertips. And we're just going to kind of seesaw back and forth. So I'm going to pull Annette forward. And she's going to pull me forward. And so just go back and forth. It's still there.
But it's not alive.
Right.
So yogi.
All right. We'll get one more fold in. And then lift up to neutral. All right. So that kind of completes the asana portion of this. We are going to take a Shavasana now. And it's not your normal Shavasana. We'll be lying on our backs, but we're going to be lying a little differently. So Annette, you can just lie normal here, and I'll position myself. All right, so once you have one partner down, the other partner is going to have their head probably about thigh height with their feet going the opposite direction. So as you lie down next to your partner, you're going to take your partner's hand, place it somewhere on your body. They're going to take their hand, place it on their body. Take the opposite arm and just put it over your partner's hand. And we'll be lying here for just a couple minutes. And the purpose of this Shavasana is obviously to be together and to sync up with each other's breath and rhythm and energy. Lots of challenges come up with partner yoga and communication. And so I think it's nice to practice with friends and family members and daughters and sons and moms and sisters. It just kind of uncovers a different layer to your relationship, and it's a sweet way to practice yoga. Come back to the intention that you set for yourselves in the beginning. So, for example, as we started and we had those little cups, those mudras, what were you filling that with? For me, I was filling it with gratitude for my friend Annette, who's here practicing with me and who's been a longtime friend of mine, and just grateful that she could be here practicing today in this way with me. And so just come back to the intention you set in your relationship with the person that you're practicing with. And you don't have to vocalize it. You can if you want to, but now is just a time to just know what that is. Notice if you've synced up with your partner's breath naturally, noticing their rise and their fall. Begin to notice your breath. Take a nice full inhale, fill your belly. Then you can slide your hands from your partner. Begin to bend your knees. Roll away from each other so you don't fall into one another. Come to your side body for a moment as long as you need to. When you're ready, come all the way up to sit. And we're going to sit just facing our partners, coming into Anjali Mudra. So you'll just bring your palms together in front of your heart, soft bow. Recognizing that we are all not alone and that we can be better together, get assistance, not only in our yoga practice, but in life, and that we need one another. I hope that you enjoyed practicing together, whether you're doing it live with us now or later on through YouTube. We enjoyed demonstrating for you. Thank you, Annette, for being here with me. And namaste.
Namaste.
Good job.
That was fun.
That was fun. We're going to come check out you guys.